So, hammer the delusion. That is our series. Hammer the delusion. Ego and the delusion traps each other and causes endless suffering to all in our life. And I can tell you that I'm talking nothing that you do not know. Oh, so I know everything, yes. So from today I will not attend my sessions. Yeah, that is your choice. That is your choice. What is very important that what I talk about is not you do not know intellectually, but it doesn't move to the mind to change our behavior and attitude, and the delusion continues in our life. Delusion continues in our life. That is the problem. So the delusion and the ego works together. Take simple example. Do you know peace is good? Are you sure? Peace is good. Do you ask the next question? Do you live in peace 24/7? Answer is no. That is delusion. Think. We have to think. So you do not live in peace. Answer is delusion. And delusion, whether you say it's a delusion or ego. We have to fight and confront where we can win. We cannot win over the delusion or the ego. I think even at the age of 25, I used to travel in a bus in India and I had all the gray hairs. So in India, Ashok and Vaibhav knows that when you have a gray beard, out of the respect, younger generation says you uncle or aunt. They address you as uncle and aunt. It's out of respect. So I was 25, 26, I had those gray hairs, and of people of my age, girls of my age says, excuse me uncle. So a couple of times I definitely felt pain. But obviously I was also going through this transition, and you see what happens. You know that I'm only 25 and this girl who is maybe older than me and saying me uncle. Is it not a delusion? And one day I got what is that? That is known as the cognitive ability. Cognition. And after a few times, now the girl came and says, excuse me uncle. I said, very wonderful daughter. Sure. And even sometimes she is older than me. We have millions of delusion, and now because of the delusion we create an appearance of an identity based on the delusion, and that causes the suffering. Otherwise you are always relaxed, you are always calm. Why I am narrating this story? Because yesterday my honey was telling me that one older lady in India, someone said auntie, and she slapped on the face of a young guy. How dare you say my aunt? So why you explain that I have grandchildren? Are you getting it? You are explaining that, I have 3 sons and all the sons have two kids. They are almost 16 years of age. So obviously you are a grandmother. You are not only an aunt. We have millions of these identity crisis statement we live in. It causes the delusion. My master used to say, don't fail in failing, but succeed in failing. Succeed in failing. If someone says, uncle or aunt, it's okay. What it demands? It demands a cognition. Cognition means what? Awareness of what is and what is not. Cognition means knowing what is and what is not. You say me grandfather, it doesn't make any difference to me. It is a label. You say me I am rich, it is a label. You say me I am poor, it is a label. I am different from that. Pay attention to this. It will always move your mind into the peace. Try to understand that delusion, and also whether we say delusion or ego. Just ask yourself, is clay and the clay pot are two things or one? That is the first thing to understand. Clay pot, body. That we will take later. Just make it understand. Is clay and the clay pot are two things or one? It appears two, but it is only one. So if it is one, then I have to find out which one is false and which one is real. This is what the cognition is. This is what the living in a moment. But if you cannot separate your anger from yourself, your anxiety from yourself, your ego from yourself, you cannot live in a moment. Then it is purely an intellectual exercise. Nothing happens. Nothing changes. Come back to the same example. Is clay and the clay pot are two things or one? It appears two, but is only one. But I have to understand, means cognition, awareness. Secondly, clay pot appears real, but it is not. How can you say that? Prove that. Clay pot appears real, but it is not. So our masters say, what is independent? Real is always independent. False is always dependent. So the clay pot depends on the clay. Clay does not depend on the clay pot. Whether you have a clay pot or whether you have a big or small pot, it does not. That is ego and the delusion. Did you get it? Say yes, even if you don't get it. If clay is not, clay pot does not exist. If consciousness is not, delusion and ego does not exist. Clay pot depends on the clay. Clay does not depend on the clay pot. Ego depends on the consciousness, so it is false. Consciousness does not depend on the ego, so is the delusion depends what the mind projects as real. We have to hammer this delusion internally. How? By living from a moment to moment. When we hammer it, we are free. Now see what conclusion our masters have drawn. It is it blows our mind. clay pot is not in the clay, but the clay is in the clay pot. Did you understand? I am not in the ego. Ego is in me. Wow, how much time it takes you to remove. It hardly takes a cognition, just an awareness. Again, I'm saying, clay pot is not in the clay, but clay is in the clay pot. Consciousness is all pervading, the real self is all pervading. But the ego takes a shape and delusion takes a shape here and there. If you drive in Arizona, you see the mirage water. Mirage water you don't see everywhere. So where is the problem of the delusion? We mix the false with the real. You mix the false with the real. Take an example of this old lady, I have 3 sons, and all the sons have 16 years or 15 years grandkids. And a young guy said that auntie, and she slapped. You explained your own problem. You explained your own delusion. And you don't want to agree. That is what happens in delusion and the ego. People notice you. Get rid of that. You are free. You are relaxed. You are calm. Not only you are calm, but you awaken to that consciousness here and now. Because we cannot see the separation. So first it builds the delusion and we identify with the delusion, that is ego. And once we have an ego, anxiety is there, the fear is, internal fear is there. I have to hide that, I have to protect that. Obviously, then I am suffering. Conflict, confusion. There is a false sense of satisfaction in our life. False cannot be mixed with the real. Why? The false does not exist. But the false depends on the real. Say you make a statement and I said, no, you are telling a lie. What is my basis? At least somewhere the truth lies. So that false depends on the real, but the real does not depend on the false. Are you getting it? Say yes. You see that? So I identify with the false. The same example. That's what, the clay pot depends on the clay, but clay does not depend on the clay pot. It does not follow a mathematical equation. It is 100% possible in my life, in our life. False and the real appears to be mixed up is the delusion. You have to hammer the delusion all the time. And it is happening in your mind. Why it is happening in your mind? Because the mind lives in ignorance. We are dropping the ignorance by hammering on the delusion through understanding. And what happens? Any time and anywhere you remove that, you are celebrating your life. The entire life is just a celebration. Nothing else. Now have a bigger picture. Do you still remember? Clay pot depends on the clay. The clay does not depend on the clay pot. Are you clear? Say yes. Now see the bigger picture. The entire world of name and the form appears to me as a real, but it is nothing but a clay pot that depends on the consciousness, and the consciousness does not depend on the entire world. So I am free. And that is where the consciousness is pervading everywhere. What is this? I am consciousness. I've been saying you consistent, regular study, contemplation and reflection, practice will help you awaken to that reality at any time. Your driving, it may awaken to you. You may realize in the midst of your conflict and challenges. You may recognize in the midst of your anxiety. Everything the existence offers is an opportunity for us to awaken and hammer the delusion. How long we have to live in the world all the time? We need to be careful inside. We have to live consciously inside. That is why we say live from moment to moment. We take it intellectually, I'm living from moment to moment. I take it intellectually and it does not go inside, it does not change the mind, and then I continue to build. So the master says you have to be consistent, continue the journey. Don't fail into the practice. Don't fail into contemplation and reflection. And I can bet you, I can promise you, one day you will find, oh, I know what you are talking to me, what you have been talking to me. I realize. That realization is your cognition. And the very realization drops your anxiety, duality, conflict instantly. You cannot say, I did not enter this home, it is filled with the darkness for the 20 years, so it will take a couple of years. No, you simply switch on the light. The darkness is gone. Again, I'm saying cognitive ability. But cognitive ability, I have to continue my self-effort. That is why we have been continuing this journey, which I continued for more than 26 years with my master. Ashok knows, I think everyone knows, that I had a lot of challenges in my life, outer challenges, but every time I used to go to the master, only one goal was there. Only one goal. He had all those powers. I never asked for anything. He has those powers. I had a lot of financial challenges, but I never asked him to bless me. I said, only blessing I need. That idea, that resolution, that awareness comes by consistent and regular practice. Think, my friends, think. Don't take, you take it intellectually, you understand, and then just see where I am. See another example. Do you know peace is good? Yes, I know peace is good. Are you in peace? Yes. And after a few minutes, I ask you, you told me that you are in peace. Are you really in peace? Yes, I'm in peace. After a few minutes again, I ask you, are you in peace? Why don't you understand I am in peace? Your peace is already gone. That is intellectual understanding. Are you understanding that? Just become aware. You see the difference between the intellectual understanding and cognitive awareness. You can say, I'm living in a moment. Are you all in peace? Why the hell you are asking me? I'm already in peace. You have disturbed yourself. You are dictated by outside. This is the delusion. You are caught in identity crisis. Now compare this with that is what we do. This young guy who just last week he told me, see understanding the delusion and the ego. He lives nearby. He attends private sessions. So I said, "How are you doing?" Before the session, in a private session, I always ask, "How are you doing?" Now I'm into anxiety. What happened? My friend's friend came to me, approached me. I hope cop will not inquire from me. But I am attending this Gilbert Police Academy sessions, to just volunteer. Hope that they will not inquire from me. But this is a fact. So the friend's friend approached him that give me $20,000 on credit. I'll pay you. Why? I have to pay for my drugs. I did not. Did you pay? He said, no, I did not pay. He said, you did the best. No, but now I am having a problem with my mind. What is your problem? Think of it. Imagined problem. What is the imagined problem? Now he may attack me. He may do some harm. Can you inquire from where that harm has come? First, you believed that this guy knows you have the money, and that is why he asked you the money. And that created an imagined reality, and that is why you are having that anxiety. You should have played a role. I don't have. I don't have the money means I don't have the money for your drugs. Are you getting it? Little deeper. I hope cop will not inquire from me who is your client. This is what happened. The instant changes. That delusion takes over me. And we did it. We understood it. He really understood it. And he said, now I'm happy. I understood. I took it for granted that I have it, but I don't have it for you. You have to hammer the delusion by understanding. Constant understanding. Constant understanding. When we crave for worldly possession, we identify with something outside, whether it's a possession or a pleasure. It inflates my ego and causes the delusion. We think we are the doer responsible for acquiring the possessions and the status. This is false identification, traps us in the endless suffering. It becomes very difficult to get out of, but the moment you awaken to it, you drop it. First time we recognize that the true joy comes from within, from the wisdom, from the detachment. True joy comes from the inner contentment. Continue to make a self-effort in a right direction. See what happens. Whatever comes, you accept it as the blessing of the God, as the blessing of the existence, and you see how the life moves. Let go of restlessness. Let go of the craving. How to go? Discernment. Discernment is what? Understanding. It is listening and learning. Repeat listening and learning so that I check it. I am in peace. It is only because of the absence of the delusion. But if I have peace because of something I have acquired, there is a moment of delusion. Simply enjoy that moment, but internally recognize, mind, you need not to run after the delusion. I'm enjoying. Whether you go to the party or anywhere, enjoy that. That is the meaning of the first verse we have been covering. Bhaj Govindam, Govindam, Bhaj Murdhamate. Murdhamate. Govindam, Bhaj Murdhamate. Do you still remember the difference between the fool, mad, and the wise? I discussed it. I didn't find the time to listen to it again. Thank God you don't have the time. You are absolutely busy. Absolutely busy is also a part of delusion. You see, when you go at a very subtle level, you see that when you say you are absolutely busy, you are anxious, you have been busy, you don't find the time to contemplate and reflect. They are all the subtler parts of the delusion. Because now we are going deeper, so I have to talk about that. First timers I never say, because they will react. How dare you say that, I am fully busy, you don't know, I have a lot of things to do in my life. So everything that you want to do, that is causing you the stress, and still you want to continue. Okay, tell me when you become free. Were you free last week, last year, couple of years back? No, I have never been free. So do you learn from your past experiences? Will you ever be free in the future? No. So will you die, remain fully busy? It seems yes. Please die. In the beginning, people do not understand this. Bhaja Govindam, so that is the difference between the fool, wise, and the mad. He is talking about the fool. Bhaj Govindam, Govindam Bhaj Murdhamate. Means I recall, I remember, I relive. That is the simple meaning. Traditional meaning is the Govindam Bhaj Murdhamate. Traditional meaning also applies here. Govinda is the name of the Krishna. Krishna is the originator of the yoga, the entire Eastern wisdom. So it means that I respect, I adore, I remember the Govinda, the Krishna. That too applies here. It is the same thing. We are learning from the beginning, we have an emotional nature, we take Krishna, let the Krishna help me. Krishna doesn't help you to fall into delusion. So when you appeal, pray, worship, so-called worship the Krishna, it means that you are learning what he said, you have to follow it. That is worship. Worship and prayer is nothing, what we find in organized religion. It has nothing to do with Eastern wisdom. Now, the most important part he says, Samprapte sannahite kale nahi rakshati dukrunna karane. Now I can talk about it. This master is hammering our mind. How he is hammering? Look at it. Samprapte sannahite kale. Do you know? Do you know about your death? No. Is it uncertain? Yes. He is hammering on our head. You are awfully busy. The death can come next hour. You want to remain busy? Or do you want to relax? He is saying that when the appointed time of the death has come, this intellectual understanding will not work. What will work is living from a moment to moment. Living consciously means living free from the delusion will work. That is the meaning of Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam. Now I have a plan to open, I was talking to you all that I'm planning. I will talk to David and Jerry separately about finding some place and converting it into a center. So that will be my house also. Should I be attached to it? No. This is a desire and the dream. If it happens, it's okay. If it doesn't happen, that is also okay. Yeah, let it happen. It's okay. I dream of writing another 50 books. Let it happen. Or let it not happen. No, I will only want to die after completing writing the 50 books. Delusion. Delusion. What? You talk in the same way, you think in the same way, but your level of awareness inside is totally different. You live into that state of the consciousness. That is the meaning of hammering the delusion, my friends. So close your eyes. Eyes are closed and eyes are closed. Check it again. How intensively you are aware. Yes, I'm intensively aware. You do not challenge me. No, I'm not challenging you. Be comfortable. Check that you are comfortable. Check that you are carefree. Yes, I'm carefree and comfortable. Oh, let us move further. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. Yes, may there be happiness for all. So now you see what you are looking for. The delusion is not there. You found the clay. Clay pot exists because of the clay. Peace exists independently. That is what I'm saying you. When you contemplate and reflect, you will find, oh yes, what you are saying appears to be right. Just pay attention on these two, false and the real. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. May there be peace for all. May there be peace for all. So that peace exists. What appears to exist is the delusion. How to notice it? It is constantly changing. Oh, yesterday I have an anxiety and today I have no. Oh, so anxiety is there is no anxiety, it is constantly changing. I give it a status of reality to the anxiety and stress, then you are suffering. We are not worthy of suffering. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness in all. Completeness, peace, happiness, everlasting, ever existent. A sense of incompleteness is a feeling caused by the delusion because of the identification of the ego, and then its siblings returns into my life, changes my behavior and attitude, which includes anxiety, duality, conflict, fear. You have to understand in that way. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness for all, or may there be a blessing. So existence is always in the mode of giving us the blessing. We are not ready to take it because I am fully busy. You see, I'm translating, giving the instruction based on what we discussed today. That is why I say that your consistent practice will help you to awaken to that, to reveal that knowledge, to remove the ignorance which causes the delusion. Now is the time. Looking deep inside the forehead, I believe you all are aware, looking deep inside the forehead in the space, dropping Om Shanti, and start breathing quick, short, and gentle breath into the rib cage. What knowledge is supporting you? Knowledge is supporting that I will continue to do the chest breathing. Even if the mind challenges me, I will endure it without moving my body, maintain the stillness in the body. I will also ready to accept the changes or the change in the experiences at this moment. So you see now everything is clear. The car is on, the steering you are holding, you see, you are clear about the pedal and the brake, and you see in front and the rear, everything is set, and you are driving on a cruise. Why I said so, even you can continue even for 10 minutes. It will not make any challenge to you. Continue the journey. We need to build a tremendous endurance, intense cognition of what is happening in order to hammer the delusion. And that is what we are doing. That is what we are doing. Continue breathing, enduring, recognizing. Continue the journey. Do not stop in the middle. The stopping means the mind has returned. Which mind? The mind that causes the delusion. And stop it, do nothing. But at the same time, you are aware of the flow of the breath. If it is equal, very good. Even if it is not equal, very good. Why? We are already clear where the less flow, the flow of the nostril is less. You just pay attention there. And it is very much possible within few seconds the flow of each nostril become uniform, and just enjoy that. Why I say uniform flow? Because there you need not to think anything. You may have thoughts on the surface of the mind, but the mind, deeper layers of the mind is already absorbed into that state of awareness which is free from the delusion. It takes time. And looking deep inside the forehead again, Om Shanti, dropping body in the state of comfort and steadiness, and start with the belly breathing. Pay attention, you are squeezing and expanding the belly. It is only to help you raise your awareness. Oh, it is only for that? Yes. Because we are attentive, we are clear. We are not leaving the mind on an autopilot. Oh, that is why we are doing the breathing? Yes, to a greater extent I can say. We will understand little deeper into that process. Pay attention, expansion and squeezing of the belly with a longer breath in the state of the stillness and comfort in the body. Om Shanti continues. Continue. And stop this. Allow the breath to be normal. Pay attention to the flow of the breath. You already know what you need to do. Just paying attention on the flow of the breath, whether they are equal or not. Only difference, if the breath flow of the breath is equal, you make it sure that you are already into that state. But still our past impression in the form of a thought or a feeling objects to this state. And that is why if you continue to do it, you are consistent in your practice, it will help you to bypass and transcend that state. And looking deep inside again in the forehead, Om Shanti continues, you already know it. And now this time it's a long, deep and the hissing breath, both from the belly and the rib cage. You expand the belly and the rib cage, first the belly and then the rib cage while inhaling. Squeeze it, first the belly and then the rib cage. So it's a long, deep and the hissing breath without any movement into the entire body except the belly and the ribs. And Om Shanti also continues. Pay attention. So you are giving a challenge to that mind which runs on autopilot, lives in the delusion all the day, and that keeps our old habit and attitude is intact. So we are changing that. And stop it. Allow the breath to be normal. Means you are not making an effort. You are not busy with breathing or even the Om Shanti. You have a sense of freedom. You are aware of the flow of the breath. You are aware of the stillness in the body. You are also aware of the changes, the experiences that you have now. But you are naturally focused on the flow of the breath. This gives a sense of de-identification from the body. So deluded images which we have starts dissolving when you keep your mind on the flow of the breath. Now, moving the mind inside the cave of your heart, visualizing the triangle. You all know what we need to do. We all are seekers. Moving the mind on the side of a triangle, dropping on Shanti, pointed awareness clockwise and anti-clockwise. And when you find a sync, oh, it's sync. It's perfect sync, which means it's a sense of freedom is there. And when you find the sync, you move the mind with Om inside the triangle into the cave of the heart. Mind seemingly stops. Shanti and self-absorption. Even if the thoughts may or may not be there, there is a kind of self-absorption. You are hammering the delusion, my friends. So when I say hammer, normally the word hammer is used that you are making a tremendous effort. In the journey of the self-discovery, this is hammering, where you have an intense awareness. And now Om Shanti on the 16 segments of a finger without touching from the thumb. But who is touching? The mind's touch, the mind's ear, the mind's eye. They are working. So which helps us to discover that we can withdraw the sense organ consciously living in the mind, not drawn outside. Why not drawn outside? There is no attachment. So you have a sense of freedom. What it is again a cognitive ability. Nothing more than that, nothing less than that. Om Shanti. You may undergo a variety of experiences, sometimes total absorption, sometimes vision in the colors, and we witness them. We are in knower of those experiences. No worries, you may find sometime the distraction is also there. So you need not to worry about those distractions. At the same time, next moment you find there is a total absorption. That too is okay. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both your palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. If you have any question, we can also share that. How are you, David and Jerry?
Namaste. Thank you, sir. That was absolutely amazing. The lesson spoke to me, I think, directly in terms of where I'm at with some of the challenges I'm going through right now. And I just had an amazing meditation, um, cold, cool feeling.
Yeah.
When I got into the center of the heart, there was this buzz in my body, and I can barely remember the rest of the meditation.
Beautiful. When we have a clarity of understanding, now we have already understand the delusion is not there, but it demands a practice so that the transformation takes place. That is what is happening. Beautiful. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good, thank you. The meditation was pretty seamless, I'd say. I was with you throughout, no distractions, easy, equal breathing. The focus, I think the mind sits in and with the seeing clearly of the consciousness isn't in the delusion.
Yeah.
Or the delusion isn't in the consciousness, but the consciousness sees the delusion. The consciousness sees the chaos. The consciousness sees the different things that are changing, but those things are not in the consciousness.
Not in the consciousness. That is beautiful.
Yeah, disease, everything, right? It's not in the consciousness, but the consciousness sees it.
Beautiful. What she did it, that it is the same example I gave. The clay pot is definitely it is in the consciousness, but the consciousness is, the clay pot is not in the, what I discussed. You remember? I forgot it. Clay pot and the clay. So that is what, Jerry has explained. The consciousness is never changing entity. Whatever is changing is the clay pot. Whatever is changing in my life is not at all me. You de-identify through internally, through your awareness, and you are already there. That is what we need to understand. How are you, Dennis?
I'm good, thank you. In the meditation, this time I had some sensations in the body, like an electric current, you can say.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like tingling. Then there was a few moments of dizziness in the mind after the breathing. Breath equalized after the first step of breathing, and after the triangle, I experienced a kind of space. And when I started chanting Om, it was an experience like the sound filled the space, and the mind continued staying in this space filled with Om, not wanting to chant Shanti or do anything. It was just endless space with endless Om. The mind wanted to stay there so badly that I had to force it to move to the japa. I had to make an effort. And it was just very peaceful and very extraordinary meditation.
Beautiful. That is what will happen to everyone. What will happen to everyone? Experiences will vary, but your mind will remain into that state of cognition in each step. It can find out what is happening, how the mind is reflecting at each point. Sometime you'll feel that you are lost, you will return back, you have a variety of experiences, but ultimately you see that it's a seamless moving transition from the one step to the second step to the third step, and there comes the clarity. That is one of the best ways explained the practice of meditation. How are you, Brandy?
Good, thank you. The most important part or poignant part of the lesson for me today was about, if you wait until you die to hammer the delusion, it's too late. And that doesn't offend me. I can see that how that'll offend some people, but So that during my meditation, I just, the mind kept throwing stuff, and I was like, look, it's kind of now or never.
Now or never. Yes, that is what Master explains. Now or never. I hope that, I believe you are doing it regularly. Wonderful. How are you, Samir?
Meditation was very peaceful, and nowadays understanding is developing.
Yes.
That mind is understanding the play of mind.
Yeah.
What mind is saying, what I have to accept, what I have to reject, that I am slowly understanding.
Yes.
And it is going deep down into my head.
Yes, that is very good. So understanding is very important. It is the understanding is nothing but the cause and effect relationship of what is happening, and that cause and effect relationship is what the cognition is. So I'm not overstretching what modern psychology talks about. I'm not going into CBT, Christina. So simple cognition, So how are you, Christina?
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.
What do I want to say about today? I think I have a question. Are we ultimately accepting that we will be working on hammering the delusion for our lifetime? Like there's not an end point where we won't need to do this?
Yes,
right?
There is a time comes when the delusion is gone from your head. Delusion will continue to exist in the world. One delusion is created by the mind is gone. So that is the meaning of awakening. But the moment I bring my mind back through all the sense organs into the world, the delusion will remain that you are different from me. But this is not causing any problem. Are you seeing it? One delusion that is causing the problem, we are hammering that delusion. It is caused by my mind. So one delusion is there for us to exist as an individual self. Are you getting it? No worries, I'm going to explain that. The other delusion that I create myself, that I am an individual entity greater than you, richer than you, poorer than you, better than you, that delusion is gone. What problem I have if Biden is president or Trump is president? I have no problem. I have no problem. But what the problem is, that why the Biden is not a president, why the Trump is not a president. So it is a mental delusion that I have created because of the preferences of the likes and dislikes. So that is gone now. That individual ego is shattered completely. Can that go? Yes, it can 100% go. It can 100% go. When? Here and now. Or it can take the lifetime. But Brandy was saying now and never. So, how are you, Terry? Do you want to say anything or do you want to keep quiet?
I mainly think of it in the way of what is changing.
Yeah.
What is not changing.
Yeah.
That's how I always go back to that, to find the self that remembers everything that it has witnessed.
I could see.
But I do not feel peace all the time. I'll be honest. but my process is progressing.
When you say I'm not in peace, that is a delusion.
I don't feel it.
I don't feel peace all the time is also a delusion.
But my process in the meditation,
Yeah.
how me to move in that direction.
First there is a delusion, and then there is an identification by an I thought that says I am not in peace all the time. First, there is a perception, and the mind says, now this is my perception because of the likes and dislikes. So that is where you say I'm in stress, I cannot live in peace all the time. Why? Because I'm fully busy. One says because I'm fully busy, and you say because I have lot of challenges in the body. The third says that I have fight with my honey. Fourth says that I recently married and that is why I have lot of issues. I don't find free time. I can go on. So that needs to be understood. How are you, Ashok?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Was,
don't tell these secrets to your honey.
okay. The meditation was very good, and I don't have any problem.
Very good.
No question at all. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. How are you, Vaibhav?
Thank you, sir. Sir, mind was calm. It was thoughts were coming and going away. It was realizing that thought will remain be there, but I am free from them. So no worries about them. Be calm, be peaceful, and things will go away.
Beautiful. That is what, why we share our experiences. Everyone shares their experiences in a different way. Can you recognize the thoughts keep changing? None of these thoughts is my state or me. When you recognize that recognition is living in a moment. Oh, so it means should I drop the thought? No. I'm also expressing myself through the thinking. In a few seconds I will say thank you very much. I will continue to do so. But it is separate. Why? Because there is no figment of delusion is there that I am attached to it. I have any preference for it. You are free. That is another way to answer Christina. You are already free. You have to do it throughout life? No. So why you do not do throughout the life? Because that is what the world is used as an awakening. Awakening means now the delusion is not there in you. That is the meaning of awakening. So the answer to the question, can I do it throughout my life? No. Once awakened, finished. Not awakened, not finished. Then the ego says, how long I have to attend your session? Thank you very much. That is all.
Thank you. Namaste, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank
you. I really appreciate as you all have started sharing your experiences. So sharing your experiences that from mind has started from non-thinking to a conscious thinking mode in the light of these principles. So when we start consciously, we move to the right perception. And when we have a right perception, the delusion goes away. Who doesn't know the sun rises every day in the morning and I am lazy? Okay, for me, the morning takes place around noon. You have to find this delusion in everyday life. So another meaning of hammering the delusion is a right perception. So what is wrong perception? You have to pay extra attention. What is wrong perception and what is right perception? That is the difference between the delusion and dispassion in life, everyday life. My situation, my people, my relationship is affecting my life is delusion. I am independent, pure consciousness, nothing outside can affect me. It is just a point of awareness. But why it happens, that I always feel that I am dictated and influenced. So there comes not only the ego, delusion, blame, complaint. So initially we started, I said hammering the delusion. I defined the delusion. And then I said, remember, recall, relive. Remember, recall, and relive into that awareness. Why to remember? I forget it. Why I forget it? I've been using the word honey. There is another word associated with the honey trap. You all know. So there is always a honey trap in our life. The day we wake up in the morning and we retire to the bed, I have to recognize there is always a honey trap. Either by a situation, either by... Oh, just now I received an email from this woman. She has been with me for a couple of years, and she said, I shut myself into the room because I have a lot of infection. So I responded immediately that do not shut your mind. It's okay. And she also responded back to me, I knew that that is what you are going to say. I said, if you knew it, the wisdom is being settled in your mind. You see, such a healthy conversation. Oh, wisdom is being settled in your mind. If you remember, you have to recall it. So endure your infection. Take care. That's all. It does not mean that outer situation in the body should affect me. That is the meaning of hammering the delusion. Remember, recall, relive. At any point of time. So what is the honey trap? I don't have money, sense of insecurity. I have lot of money, sense of insecurity. Maybe you keep $100,000 in a room, and I say, I want to see that room. No, that room is normal, Don't go there. Come and sit with me. Honey trap. So honey trapped by a situation, honey trapped by a relations, honey trapped by a person, they all causes the problem. And I have to remember, recall and relive. That is one way to say it. The other way is to say is to live in right perception. Live in right perception. Or just remind yourself, oh, what this beard guy told me, real self. I am the real self of the nature of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. So that I don't fall into the honey trap. Oh, so I have to build my recognition. In order to do that, I have to express myself in my thought, in my speech and action. So in my thought, speech, and action, that honey trap is always there. You all shared your experiences last time. So how long I have to continue? Don't you know that sun rises every day in the morning? I forget it. There is a sense of forgetfulness. It is always there. So that consciousness, pure consciousness, is always there. When I remember, recall, it is always there. There is no ego, there is no delusion, there is no my internal, that mental state or mind never ever feels that outer situation, people, condition can dictate me, can influence me, can honey trap me. It is already there. What is blocking the mind? What is blocking the mind? And that is why our master says consistent, regular study, contemplation and reflection will reveal the knowledge taught by the master. And we have already done a lot of practices. We are undergoing those practices. Let us go a little deeper. My mind says it is very difficult to maintain the regular routine. Why? Honey trap. There is no other reason. I have already repeated many a times. People say I have an acute headache, that's why I have not been attending the session. Sam is doing something else instead of listening to me. That is honey trap. The problem is that I laugh at myself. That is why it says, Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Govindam Bhaj Mudhamate Samprapte Sannahite Kale Nahi Rakshati Dukrunna Karane. Bhaj Govindam. Normally we talk about, the literal meaning is worship Govinda. Worship Govinda, worship Govinda. But the real meaning is that move into the right perception. Right perception is the prayer. And we put all the gods and goddesses also in our honey trap. And that is why we have lost interest in all the religions. It is because of the ignorance. It is because of the delusion. O mind, move to the right perception. Don't be foolish. How? By remember, recall, and relive. So this text reminds us, we all are seekers now. It reminds us to move into the right perception. We have to shake up our head anytime. Any time the mind is filled with the blame, complaint, duality, and a conflict, they are all the siblings of the delusion. All the siblings of the delusion. Oh, this beer guy was criticizing me, blaming me. One guy says, and the second guy says, no, he was appreciating you. You see how the mind changes instantly? So we have to hammer the delusion. So this hammer the delusion is a very soft approach. But instead the text is named as hammer the delusion, as if you have to do a very tough work. No, I have to become aware, recall and remember. What to recall and remember? That I am of the nature of real self. What we do? Oh, I have been single for so many years and that's why I have a problem. I've been married for so many years, that is why I have a problem. I have been divorced for so many years, that is why I have a problem. I did not find, what we say, the right soulmate, that is why I have a problem. So can you point out the delusion here? My mind is caught up in very petty things. I make my life would be happy because of an outer situation, because of an outer condition. I will be respected. Nothing of that sort. We get caught up by the mind. The person outside is ready to say good morning, but my mind is full of delusion. So the master says death can come at any time. No amount of the wealth, no amount of my recognition or the social media followers can help me. I have to live with myself. Remember, I have to live in right perception. So if I translate in a very simple way, the very beginning step that I have to move from the non-thinking from the thinking, conscious thinking. What is non-thinking? It comes habitually, instinctively, impulsively. No, I have to present before you the way, so that you will continue to respect me. No, it doesn't happen that way. Live consciously, live with the right perception, so that your impulsive mind does not dictate over you. And if it dictates over you, you try to make an extra effort in your relationship, in a situation outside, and as you continue to make that extra effort, that is making you fully busy. Otherwise, where is the problem in life? Especially with the human life. The mind becomes blind, and that blindness of the mind is what we say the deluded mind. You have a very big home and a small heart. And you have a small home and a big heart. So in delusion, the mind is squeezed. In right perception, the mind is expanded. So in the text, Or there is another explanation. We say the cultivate devotion and the wisdom by listening and learning through the self-inquiry and even through the mantra. So whenever you find the time and you remember Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, let everyone be happy, so that the deluded thoughts do not take over you. You just remember. That very remembrance is connecting. That is another way to explain the first verse. Second verse says that the master, if I translate it, says, "O deluded mind." He is addressing in a poem, "O deluded mind, how many honey traps you have." What is that? How many cravings I have. Because of the craving, it builds a different identity, a different person in me. And that different person is struggling in insecurity, in dissatisfaction and unhappiness. Can you find out situation contains unhappiness, dissatisfaction? Or this I? That I reflects the situation at present, and that I says I am unhappy. Situation never says I am making you unhappy. No relation says that I am making you dissatisfied. Are you getting it? That I in me is associated with it. So in the second verse, Master says, "O deluded one." O deluded one, what it says, "O deluded one, may you become aware of the craving and the desire for happiness from the world." Then the Master says, "O deluded mind, may you contemplate upon the real self and your nature." Third line, the Master is saying, "O deluded mind, can you see the contentment is here and now?" Where the contentment is there? When that I, which is dissatisfied, that I, in relation to the world outside, it's a honey trap. Are you getting it? That's why I'm using the word honey trap. That I, false I. You drop the false I, the contentment is here and now. And that is why in the second verse, I use the word a support system. Child needs the support of a mother, students need the support of a teacher, patient needs the support of a doctor. We need, now see, I need a support of the wealth for my happiness, or for my pleasure, or for meeting my basic needs. I should have a right perception. It doesn't mean that I should not earn money. Are you getting it? So I need a support where a Caesar work, there the soul cannot work. So now I have to discriminate, I have to find out where my mind is going. Money will give me prestige, recognition, reputation. Yeah, it's a short-lived. You have to continue to maintain. It will build up your delusion. Master is simply saying, from non-thinking, let me move to the thinking. Let me consciously think. So the Master is saying that support means now I am ready to drop that delusion in the ego. I thought in the intellect who created a delusion, the I thought in the intellect, which is craving for and seeking. And what it is seeking, it is not there. And the moment the Master says, as a seeker, you all are seekers. If you are a seeker and you are understanding, you consciously think, I am addressing you all as a seeker. If you are not a seeker internally, my talk will not benefit you. I teach totally differently in a different session, depending on the group and the level. But as a seeker, if you are consciously thinking, you have done a lot of practices, what happens? What is the result? Result is the insecurity, dissatisfaction, and the very suffering drops. That is why this woman told me, she sent me instant answer, instantly. Oh, this is what, I know what you are going to say to me. So it means that wisdom was already in her head. And even though she expressed and she remembered. And I had an instant answer. Yes, you're right. So wisdom is still lying in your head. You have to simply remember. What it means, you are living in the mindfulness, here and now. That is the meaning of living in mindfulness. Intellectually we say, live in mindfulness. You are in stress, so let me live in stress. That will not work. Simply using intellectually. I am not a seeker. I did not understand all these principles. It will not work. It has never worked. Tell me how many Americans every day say live mindfully. I was attending a police academy, some training, and they say, we guide everyone in our police force to live mindfully. So I said, is it working? No, it's not working. You know that, every cop wants to be tough. They don't want to be mindful. I didn't say anything, because they were giving a talk. The lieutenant was giving a talk, so I said, but does the being mindful and being tough oppose each other? In delusion, you become very weak. In being mindful, you are the toughest guy. Internally, you are the toughest guy. Your standpoint is always clear. You live into the right perception. You don't allow the mind to move into delusion at any point of time. You are very tough. But tough does not mean that you start abusing and fighting with others. Maybe with all your support, I'm going to give some training to them if they agree. So what happens? What is the result? The insecurity, the sense of insecurity drops, the dissatisfaction dissolves, that wanting more and never feeling complete also drops from your head. Why? Attachment and identification with the ego drops. The delusion drops. And we are happy. We are happy. The third verse is talk about the purely a honey trap. You see some car, this car is good. That much is okay. You appreciate all the features. That is also okay. unconsciously thinking. If you have a good point, if you have a good attitude, I must appreciate. So there is a thin line between a craving and appreciation or liking. You like for the sake of liking, but you like for the sake of craving. Oh, Miss Universe is really beautiful. Or Mr. Universe, let us go in both the ways. That much is okay. I must appreciate. That is one way to contribute. We should contribute. No, I must appreciate you, but internally I feel jealousy. So you have already divided your mind. You see, that is a pointer of ego. No, anyhow, you speak very well. I cannot speak very well. That I keep in my mind, so that causes my craving. I have to keep my mind in a right perception. So the third verse is talking about seductive attitude in anything. Do not fall prey to Frenzy's delusion. Any name in the form outside. Any name in the form outside. I have to see, I have to perceive in a right way. If there is a right perception, I don't have any problem. But that right perception comes by consistent, regular practice. If you see, it will happen intellectually, no. I already told you before. Intellectual understanding, anyone can understand these principles easily. Average human being. So that is the vision. We set the vision of life in the intellect. And the way of life is carried out by the mind. So they must marry together. If the mind does not change its attitude and behavior by regular practice, your willpower will not work. Last point. How many times some of you told me, a couple of me, I don't want to name. I promise myself that I will wake up 5 minutes before, every day 5 minutes before the time. Are you making a joke to yourself? 5 minutes? And that 5 minutes will never come. That is your will. And the will is dictated by your impulsive nature, your behavior and attitude. If I don't change my behavior and attitude, nothing is going to happen. No mindfulness, no meditation will succeed. Are you getting it? Intellectual understanding is there. Where is the will? In the intellect. The intellect says, I will do this. But my mind, which has millions of impressions, which continues in a delusion, it will not work. So where is the solution? Gently push the mind, do the practice, consistent, regular practice will change the mind, will change the behavior and attitude, will not veil the willpower on the intellect, and then you have a clarity and the life changes. Am I right? Say yes. Why I'm right? Because I'm teaching from the master principles of the Eastern wisdom. There is nothing in me. So I have no delusion at all. I'm 100% clear. These principles have been continued for the last 10,000 years. Am I right? If you are listening, or definitely you will say right, but I'm not right. I'm just representing that wisdom. What happens when you, even by consciously thinking, you repeat it, you keep your ego at a bay. That is another way to talk and communicate in our social life, in our personal life. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. Close your eyes, close your eyes. Eyes are closed, and being comfortable and carefree. Being comfortable and carefree. Now you all are a seeker. I need not to explain in detail what it means by being comfortable. I have explained in many ways, at least 10 different ways. You remember any one. Sensation, comfort, and steadiness, standing across the road, watching the traffic, looking into the sky, the birds flying into the sky. Do you remember? So what happens when you, even by remembering, I am not saying that you need to believe me, you simply remember, you move into the right perception. Your body now is comfortable. The body does not create a honey trap. You know what we discussed? That's what I help you now. So we have to be into the same state of awareness when we do what we do. When we do the mantra Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Now you know completely Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. What is very important? Chanting, recitation definitely is one factor, but what is more important is the knowledge. Thought is the product of knowledge. Right perception. Let everyone be happy. The message is clear. Now that guy is crazy, but let the crazy guy also be happy. So what happens? Your delusion of blaming someone dissolves. It is a very deeper meaning. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. I am not making you annoyed, angry, and agitated. I am contributing to you. And I am not affected by your blame and complaint. I am still contributing. You understand? Leave aside the morality and ethical discipline. We have to be kind and etc. That doesn't work. We talk at the intellectual level, but it doesn't work. Do you see the secret of peace? May there be peace for all. And that is what you have been watching these and listening to these sessions. Why should I hurt you in any way? But if you are a seeker, I should be tough on you. Just see that right perception. Peace is already here. Sarvesham, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness in all. What that means? A sense of incompleteness present in the I thought causes the insecurity, dissatisfaction, unhappiness in the present situation that is present in the I thought, that is not present in a situation, a person, or a relationship. We are evolving our mind. So when your mind rises into a consciousness, higher consciousness, that is where comes the living from a moment to moment. You already know other meanings. We all are complete in ourselves. Sense of incompleteness brings the desire in the mind, and from the desire we have a craving, and from the craving plus the I thought causes the delusion, and from the delusion a list of problems takes over our life. Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu, Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu, Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. Your mind is extremely, extraordinarily aware. In that awareness, we see you are also the son or the daughter of the existence. I am also the son and the daughter of the existence. I am saying right perception. You have a right to exist. I have a right to exist. I am contributing. I am a contributor. No, you have no right to exist except me. I have a right to exist in a particular way. Delusion. We will continue our breathing. I'm going to change these steps gradually. So you are looking deep inside the forehead and you are dropping gently Om Shanti, and then start breathing quick and short, gentle breathing into the rib cage. Just let us resolve that. See how the willpower and the practice work together today. You keep on doing it, quick and short, gentle breath with Om Shanti continues. If the Om Shanti gently continues, you can do this breathing as long as you can. I have tried this. Sometimes I do it for 15 minutes, 20 minutes. It is possible. Why we are doing it? We want to get rid of the deposits the mind has, which causes the honey trap. Just you are enjoying doing it. Body remains steady. Remember, you are comfortable, you are carefree, body doesn't move except the rib cage. You will also experience the changes in the sensation. What should I do? Recognize and accept the changes. Very important. And also recognize the resistance and endure it. When you are enduring the resistance, you are increasing your willpower. Just continue as if doing this kind of a breathing and dropping the Om Shanti is a play and a fun for you. Who recognizes it as a play and fun for you? The mind with the right perception. You're not moving your body at all. You're not running. You're not doing jogging. So the question of fatigue doesn't arise, but it is created by the mind. Om Shanti also continues. Just continue. Your mind, the moment I speak, your mind may be thinking when to stop. That is a resistance. Just continue doing it. No doubt you continue to experience the changes. I told you, accept and recognize the changes. The moment you recognize any resistance, you endure it. Enduring means what? You continue doing it. You simply remember, I have to continue. And then you see that resistance dissolves. And stop this. Recognize and accept the changes. Pay attention to the flow of the breath. You may see that flow of both the nostrils becomes equal. If it is not, pay attention to the flow of the breath which is lesser than the other. but you have a new level of awareness because you have new experiences. We have to continue doing it unless you share your experiences, which helps me to recognize that we can leave that step and introduce new one. Now, Om Shanti continues deep inside your forehead in the space, and start with the second breathing, that is the belly breathing. It's a longer breath into the belly only. There will be a little movement into the rib cage. It's a conscious approach. You are asking the mind to become conscious at a very higher level of a seeker. But yes, at a lower level of a seeker, we can have hundreds of explanations of the breathing. It's a longer breath because the lower lobes of the lungs expands the belly out, squeezes the belly in when you exhale. So continue, my friend. Continue, my friends. Longer, deeper. Again, there is a big challenge to the mind. The mind says, I'm not going to change. That is why there is a resistance, even when the mind has already experienced a change. So what we enduring it? Enduring removes the veil over the intellectual understanding, and then the intellect can work with the willpower. No doubt you will have a new experiences with a longer breath, new sensation. Who is afraid of the new sensation? The mind. Why? It wants to remain habitual. You are understanding and then doing it. Long and deep. Just check your mind slows down your breathing. Do not slow down your breathing. Continue in the same manner. You have to endure it. You are picking up every move of your mind, and you do not stop. Understand, you have willpower is always present in every being. It is equal and the same. How much it is hidden by the mind, deluded mind, is the question. So we are using the breath to change that mindset. It's a longer breath. Your belly expands and squeezes. No movement in the body. I'm reminding you, the mind will play a different role. No movement at all. What it shows, you are transcending the body even in an active state. Even when you are breathing, not in a meditative state. That goes a long way. stop it, the first thing we pay attention to the breath. The moment I say stop, we allow the breath to be normal, but still we keep track of the flow of the breath, and if any flow is less, you pay attention there and continue to be aware of the flow of the breath. At the same time, you are experiencing the changes, the sensation, the vision, and the colors, and let them come and let them pass. So it is not as much the result of the breathing as much it is because you are able to maintain your awareness. You are able to separate that habitual impulsive mind because of the practice. That is the key. And looking deep inside the heart, in the cave of the heart triangle, moving the mind on a triangle, dropping the Om Shanti. And if you find a sync with the clockwise and anti-clockwise movement, so you are now, you see, you have a total responsibility. It's a conscious journey. If any meditation is not a conscious journey, you will definitely be deluded, will fall into hallucination sooner or later. So once you find the singing Om, consciously moving the mind deep inside the cave of your heart, Shanti, and then it's a conscious self-absorption. What it means? You're away from the world outside. A moment of the state of dispassion, not delusion. And again the thought disturbs, dictates you, go back to the triangle, moving the mind, and now Om Shanti on the 16 segments of your fingers, 4 fingers. Just be aware that it's the mind's eye, ear, tongue, and the touch are working. And that results into another level of a conscious self-absorption. How come? The object outside merges into the senses are merging into the mind. In this step, and do nothing, remain as you are. Anytime you see the mind goes anywhere and there is a sense of forgetfulness, you have to simply remember I am real self or Bhaj Govindam. It is not that the thoughts are coming and going. In the presence of the thought, you still remember, no issue. But when the forgetfulness comes, it comes due to a very subtler level of the delusion. And that is the way. That is the way we live in mindfulness all the time. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Even when I am reciting this Shanti, 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 that is hitting your mind. Oh, this is what the mindfulness is. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the sit on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences, and if you have any question, you're most welcome. How are you, Stephen?
I'm good, thank you. Working every day, living wisely. As far as this meditation goes, as soon as we started the chest breathing, I was aware of an entire temperature change in my body that basically from shoulders down, I was ice cold, and with the concentration of the Om Shanti in the forehead, there was this intense heat, almost like I was sitting under a heat lamp that was taking place, and I found it to be interesting, but was so focused on the breathing that I wasn't paying attention to that whole piece. When the fast breathing ended, it was as if my heart center just opened up, and I was absorbed into the heart center, and that was it. That's all I remembered until I heard you start saying Om Shanti.
Beautiful. We have done the first breathing almost 7.5 minutes. In the second breathing, we did it for almost 5.5 minutes. So, and still the changes come. It does not mean a particular breathing brings the changes. Even simple change of the breathing changes our mindset. So it is in fact change of the mind, and a mental awareness is required, and we will discuss about that. Continue to experience. We feel the coolness in the entire body, sometimes heat. We have lot of those experiences are going to come. That's a beautiful, your experiences. How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you. Yeah, fabulous overall meditation. The lecture was extremely good. The realization I had is that, if you're a seeker, you're going to be vigilant with us.
Yeah.
And I think that in our life, we look at people that are vigilant with us. We need to reframe how we receive that, and receive it with love, and receive it with this journey we're on, and not defend ourselves. So that was a great realization for me during the lecture. The meditation was very, very good. I had moments of, jumping on to thoughts that came in, but was able to get back to the center. Similar to Stephen, I had this chill occur, not with the breathing, but as soon as we went into the heart, my body just went into a chill, and the rest of the meditation was just blissful. So that.
Beautiful sharing. I will talk about it. The entire life is receiving and giving. That is what the life is. I give something. I give stress to you. I give anxiety to you, and I receive the same anxiety, or I receive the pleasure from you. Receiving and giving is what the life is. At every moment in life, you are sitting alone. You are receiving the breath. You're receiving that space. That expands the area of greater expansion of the consciousness, which you talked in a different way. And secondly, the changes in these. So the second thing, very important, that I need not to defend. When I defend, only because of the delusion. When there is a delusion, I defend. I need not to defend anything. Beautiful. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good. It was calm, peaceful. Today I started the breathing, and then the mind didn't, I didn't feel that it was resistant, but the mind just stopped breathing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I even thought about it, but I wasn't, and obviously I was breathing, but I wasn't doing the breathing exercises.
Yeah, yeah.
And from this point on, I just felt very absorbed. So calm, peaceful. Sorry.
Beautiful. Yes, what will happen sometime the breathing stops. Now what we are doing by the breathing, we want to achieve a particular state of awareness in the mind. So even after leaving the breathing, can we switch on to that state of awareness? That is where we are heading to. And once we achieve that, we will drop this breathing. So very systematic, wonderful and beautiful. How are you, Samir? Samir is gone. Samir is gone. How are you, Dennis?
I'm good, thank you. The breathing was seamless. I didn't notice any resistance. The mind was surprised there was no third type of breathing. And at the last step, when we were doing nothing, I was just observing the space. I was almost detached from the body so much that I had to make an effort to return, to raise my hands, to return into the body, to leave the meditation.
Beautiful. Beautiful experience. One point that you said in my mind prompted me to say something. You see that, understand that why we are doing this breathing. Breathing means it is the change of the rate and the rhythm of the breath. That is what the breathing is. Change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. The mind is so much deluded that in the normal breathing pattern, it cannot recognize the delusion. So we are changing it so that I raise my level of awareness and attention and I enter into that state of calmness and peace. Let the time come when just in a normal breathing pattern, I live into that awareness. I will drop that breathing. So don't think in the way which is very popular in our breathing practices, breathing exercises. No. We are not doing like that. We are using totally in a different way. Beautiful. How are you, Brandy?
I'm good, thank you. I'm glad I got to join the session today. I didn't think I was going to because I had a power outage in the middle of the night, and the workers have been out here working even all the way through the meditation. So with that, I made up my mind not to take it for granted. I was like, I didn't think I was going to get to come, and I got to come. And so for the whole process, the breathing, I'm like, so what if I don't want to be breathing? I get to be here and be breathing, right? And it kind of changed my perspective, which was helpful.
Yes, I have to do it. That is the willpower. And sometimes the willpower succeeds. And the willpower also depends on the outer situation, but mostly it depends whether the mind is dictating me or not. Let me wake up. No, it's only 6, So let me lie down, keep lying down for another 2 hours. It is the mind. The intellect says wake up, mind says no. So why I said so? So whenever there is a power outrage in the future, at least you can run the previous session and you can do it. Beautiful. That's the right approach. How are you, Barbara? We don't hear you. You are muted. Oh, even you are not listening, you are muted? That's quite interesting. Anyhow, Barbara has...
Not visible.
anyhow, we have to pick her lips. We didn't hear you. Oh, at last you heard us. No, we are not hearing you. It's okay. We have seen your movement of the lips, and you have undergone a deeper experience. No issue. How are you, Christina?
Thank you. Like Stephen and David, I immediately, when we started, felt freezing cold and had many chills.
Yeah.
And I had this aha moment of the consistent, regular practice is like the water we drink or the food we eat to maintain our body, and so this is to maintain the mind. And so that was a noticing. Yeah.
That is how the consistent practice is to be done, to awaken to that higher consciousness. And once the awakening takes place, we are done. But at the same time, it happens, one more aspect is, today I woke up around almost 3:30, and then it took me almost, I had to do 15 minutes of the breathing, or maybe I would say 15 or 20 minutes. The body constantly undergoes a change. Body lives in a dynamic state of health and sickness. So in order to not to allow the body to take over the mind, we need to continue some practices. Otherwise, it does not mean that you cannot live into that state of awareness all the time. It is possible. If it makes a sense, it's okay. If it doesn't make a sense, that too is okay. How are you, Terry?
I'm good. I was calm.
Yes.
But I was so calm that I might have fallen asleep for part of it.
Okay.
But I didn't sleep for 2 nights.
Okay.
I think that's all.
Yeah, you didn't sleep for 2 nights, and after the practice you are calm. You didn't fall into sleep.
Yes, and during the night when I was having a problem, I was also calm.
Very good.
I was awake, unfortunately.
That's very good. And you start doing the practice. You don't fall in.
I did try the breathing.
No, do the entire practice. You listen to it, so your mind will be engaged in the listening, and then you are doing the breathing, you enter into it. So if you don't fall into sleep, repeat the practice.
Okay, try that.
Yeah, very good, very good. That's really. Yeah, go ahead.
Does the fast breathing and create a energized, wakeful state, though?
Entire practice, all the steps together. Not only the breathing. We have a wrong notion that the breathing energizes the brain. If the tiger chases you, will you start breathing to energize yourself before you start running? So, what you're talking about it? See the real life experiences. You want to be angry over someone. Oh, wait for 2 minutes. Let me breathe, and then I will become angry over you. Do you say that?
It's just happening.
Yes, it is. Mind is more powerful than the breathing. We will understand. We are going deeper into it. How are you, Vaibhav?
Thank you, sir. So mind was calm. In practice, I was absorbed. The state was almost peaceful.
Almost peaceful. Very good. Good experience. How are you, Ashok? Where is Ashok?
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, sir.
I am good and peace and calm and सर इसमें जैसे माइंड we should remember the real self, or we should think like that ki real self emerging in the super consciousness.
You are an Indian guy, so you know Bhaj Govindam. So there is a sense of dedication. Simply remember Bhaj Govindam. I offer myself to Govinda. Where are you, Govinda? Govinda is in my heart. So let's have an emotional approach. So I'm translating that into an American way. So both are good. Anything, I need a support system to get rid of that forgetfulness.
Yes.
I am real self, that is also okay. I am aware, that is also okay. Very good. So we have our master Sam. Yes, Sam, how are you?
Hardly. No, I mean, I appreciate, everybody and the lesson. I learn a lot from all of you, especially as a 30-year-old. And the times I take time off, I'm either sad or having health issues, and sometimes I run away from the practice because sometimes I take things too literally. But now I realize that everything you're teaching me is everything I've learned over the course of my life, just at a different angle. And sometimes it's hard for me to understand the principles, but all of you and the way you share your experiences really helps me. And today, I feel there was no effort of anything. I felt good. The results are showing. I just took a blood test, and everything was like low blood pressure again, low everything. So I owe it all to you guys, because sometimes it's hard for me, and I appreciate all of you.
Sometimes it is hard for you, that is why you take time off. So whenever you are tired, take time off your breathing also, take time off your eating also, take time off your thinking also, and that will keep you regular all the time in the practice. So we have to think in a different way. How are you, Sangeeta?
सर बहुत अच्छा था, एकदम एब्जॉर्ब। सर कई बार मन हावी हो जाता है, तो उसी टाइम पता भी चल जाता है कि विचार आ रहे हैं, तो कंट्रोल हो जाता है।
Yeah, what she is saying, that sometimes the mind starts dictating over me and I become aware. That is what the point I have been saying it. You see that the moment my mind starts dictating me, that is what the Sam is saying, that I take the things literally. Mind is dictating me. The delusion has taken over. I take time off. Mind is dictating me. So, but is it possible that I can become aware when the mind is dictating me? Intellectually, answer is no. What is the solution? Consistent, regular practice. Bit by bit, you raise your level of awareness so that you start living into that state will help. So, taking time off will not help. Taking the things literally will not help. I'm sorry, sometimes I show the toughness, but that is the way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Namaste,
Thank you.
everyone.
Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
So, welcome again. Thank you. And also appreciate joining. Hammer the Delusion is this series. Look at different ways of the delusion. We think we are smarter than others. That is also a delusion. What I have to do, even if I say I'm smarter than you, what will happen? Nothing. Instead, I should base on the knowledge. I should have a clear understanding of the cause and effect in any particular event, particular situation, in relationship. Normally, parents and the kids, parents normally say, I have 50 years of experience. You should listen to me. And the children says, what you have studied at my age, you can complete the sentence. So we should keep our mind free from this kind of a delusion. Sometimes we judge someone's character based on their appearance. You see that beard, long beard, if it is little longer and a black, without goggles, without glasses, I may look like Osama. Never judge anyone. Keep your mind free. In your relationship, at home, in your professional life. Now I'm just pinpointing because these deluded thoughts and ideas causes lot of challenges and it prevents us to awaken to the real self, believing you are entitled for a special treatment. Isn't it? Sometimes it happens to us. Just remain casual in your approach towards the world, but extremely alert and aware about what is behind the body and the mind complex. That is the meaning of the mindfulness. Another delusion, we assume worst of others' intention. That is going to cause you lot of pain and the problems in your life. I can tell you. Lot of pain. We start assuming, we imagine that others have a worse intention about ourselves. And that keeps our mind busy all the time. It begins the gossip. And gossip never ends. Another very important point is that living outside your financial means. Never do that. It will increase the Rajasic Guna that we discussed in the self-inquiry, and it will keep you on your toes all the time. All the time. So what happens, these examples that I have cited, which causes lot of delusions, and then you say, I'm not thinking like this, but I have unwanted and unwelcome thoughts in my life. Obviously, because you have a deluded perception, and out of the delusion, your mind is working. It will multiply and it will cause a lot of issues, a lot of challenges in your life. Unnecessary, unwanted challenge. Think of it. I'm not saying that I'm right, but if you contemplate and reflect, and you get rid of all these deluded thoughts, your mind is free. Normally we say, I have a lot of thoughts. How can I focus? You cannot focus unless you have a delusion. Understand this clearly. Any repetitive thought pertaining to the world outside, pertaining to the near and the dear ones, your kids, society, the world outside, is because of this delusion. You are 5 years old. How many thoughts you have? Think. You don't have that delusion in your mind. We have to become like a 5-year-old kid. We have not too much to think. So last session, we understood delusion is a confusion about what is real and what is unreal. If I move my mind with what is false, it will definitely cause suffering, not today, maybe after a few days, because your mind keeps on thinking about it and gathers those impressions. And then you blame that, I have unwanted thoughts. Delusion makes us see happiness in outer things like objects, people, events. If I remember, happiness is within. And then ask the mind to follow this thought. And then see how many unwanted thoughts you have. No, I'm sorry, I cannot make you happy. I cannot make you unhappy all the time. Very clear. And then I try to rationalize, and then I go on a delusion spree. Problem? Our master says that problem, confusion, anxiety, frustration, laziness has an element of delusion in your life. What appears true is not true. And then what happens? The mind claims and decides and declares, I am worthy of suffering because of that delusion. We are not worthy of the delusion. We are not worthy of the suffering. We are not worthy of the delusion. You all are seekers, and this is going to be a very important series. So removing the delusion. I'm still laying the foundation of this text. It's such a wonderful text. Just by laughing and smiling, you listen to it and you understand the delusion, you get rid of it. It's just a play and fun. Every verse, it is just a poem. Another cause of this delusion is that we have assumption. I meet you, and your expression is different. Mind begins the assumption. Mind instantly starts this assumption, and it begins the assumption not only meeting the person. You wake up in the morning and you see the sky is clouded. One woman in New Jersey and I met, don't you see, it's weather is so bad, it's clouded, it gives me depression. What the cloud has to give you the depression? I have an assumption. Instantly, can I wake up? Can I change? Every day, mostly 5 days, in 5 days when I meet people, they have different assumptions. And it is because of the assumptions, 99% of the divorce takes place. Think of it. I assume you behave like this. And then it strengthens from one assumption to the another and the third and the fourth. I already told you about Osama bin. We carry forward those assumptions, we rationalize. From one delusion, we live into the another delusion. Can you quantify your happiness if you have $5,000 or 5 million? Do you have 5 grams of happiness if you have $5,000 or you have 5 kilograms of happiness if you have $5 million. You have to hammer your mind again and again. I am not saying don't earn. Pay attention to it. No master says, don't go for it. Master says we quantify. That quantification is delusion. Did you get it? Quantification is, if I marry Miss Universe, I will be, add many sentences. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. No, at least, first impression should be good. And if the first impression is based on your assumption, you will definitely be defeated. You go for an interview with the first impression, you have bought a suit and the tie, but you are not able to deliver what they are asking. What will happen to your first impression? No, I'm not saying don't do it, but don't quantify. Don't give 99% of the weightage on the outer objects and events and the things, but pay attention to the quality of the mind, and you are free. What is that known as? That is known as non-attachment. So to get rid of that delusion, first you can say the non-attachment, meditation is the second, self-inquiry is the third, and continue to gain the knowledge by listening and learning at the subtler level until the delusion is gone completely. Complete end of delusion is known as awakening. Why? You see the things as it is. You have any problem? You see the sky as it is. Tell me. But now you see me and I have a long beard, and maybe 10 years ago, you had maybe you had a very, what the word I want to use, you have a very reactive encounter with someone who also has a beard, and the assumption mixes together. Okay, now I have to be careful about this beard guy. It even returns after 10 years. I can tell you. Delusion. We have this master pays too much of attention, but he made it like a singing, a poem. That is what we are going to learn. Bhaj Govindam. The text name, another name of the text is known as the Bhaj Govindam. We will understand the word Bhaj, and also we will understand the word Govindam. So we have a poem in stanzas, maybe first 3 and 4 lines. We have a hammering on the delusion, and the last line says Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam. Can I simply translate? Remember, recall, and relive the real self. That is another one meaning of the Bhaj Govindam. When you have to remember, when you have to recall, here and now. When you are surrounded by anxiety, duality, and a conflict. Are you getting it? For that, you need to be a seeker. Otherwise, non-seeker can't remember. Non-seeker dig deep inside. You are responsible for my stress. They return again and again. But now you all are seekers, we have to go at a subtler level. In times of stress, in times of suffering, in times of frustration, in times of the pain. Bhaj Govinda means it reminds me that I am not worthy of suffering. So the chain of the thought stops. Simply the chain of thought stops. Someone says you are crazy, the chain of thought stops there. You know what we say, the buck stops there. You instantly become aware. Oh, I'm more crazy than you think. Come on. You take it so easily. But if you fight with it, you have already proved that you are crazy. You have proved. We need that extraordinary awareness. Delusion versus extraordinary awareness. That extraordinary awareness is the meaning of Bhaj Govindam. We'll go into the etymological meaning. So Bhaj Govindam, we normally chant Bhaj Govindam means remember, recall, relive. We have already understood what to relive. We have already understood our nature is real self. It is of the nature of peace and happiness. So instead, the mind continue the journey of the chain of the thoughts of the delusion. I said, let me give a break. We normally say, give me a space. No? Give me a space, please. And remember, Bhaj Govindam. So you see the entire spectrum of the delusion. You recall that assumptions that you have made and you drop it. You are ready to think, speak, and act rightly in a higher state of the consciousness. Bhaj really means serving. It also means there is another meaning of service. What is that meaning? I have discussed in self-inquiry that instead of the mindset of a consumer, I become a contributor. You wake up in the morning, you are a contributor, the 90% of the delusion is gone. How you become a contributor? By connecting, by contributing, by being grateful. By being grateful. That is one meaning of the Bhaj. Bhaj also means that you have to melt your false I that is the cause of all the delusion. When you melt your false I, you don't entertain it. That is also the meaning. Bhaj also means you are maintaining an emotional poise all the time. You are not affected by the outer situation, whether it's the pain or the pleasure, victory or the defeat, profit and the loss. Because these are my assumptions. Do you see that? My assumption is that it is a profit and loss is assumption. Pain and the pleasure is assumption. You are paying attention every day for 20 days. On the 21st day, you don't pay attention. My assumption is you are ignoring me. So I don't give you credit for 20 days. You have been paying attention to me. And only one day, one single event, you might be busy in something else. And then it causes the delusion. I have one mother, I have left all the hopes from my kids, and I'm very happy if they are not coming to me, they are not talking to me. You are already creating an assumption and you are already in delusion. I asked her, did any of your son said you something like this? No, they did not say, but it means that. Are you getting it? It means that. And I know in the same session, I would say a couple of weeks before, they have an assumption that I'm pointing to him and her. What can I do? You're living in a delusion. Mind has to be free to reach to the highest state of mindfulness. That is the meaning of Bhaj. And Bhaj also means I'm grateful. Today you helped me to live. I'm alive today. I'm able to communicate. I'm able to live in this world. And Govindam, now understand another meaning of the Govindam. Bhaj we have understood. Govindam. Literally, the Govinda means the originator of yoga as a human personality, a demigod, you can say. Demigod. But now pay attention. That is the beauty of these masters. They have chosen the word Govindam. The another meaning is that your sense organs in the mind is working under you, under the intellect. That is the another meaning of the Govinda. Whether you say Bhaj Govindam, I am singing in the glory of that Govinda or Krishna. That is one way. It is the same meaning when you say that now this intellect and the knowledge rules over the mind and the sense organ before it thinks and speaks and acts. On the assumption, my knowledge inside, my awareness. What is knowledge? Knowledge is awareness. That awareness rules over the mind and the sense organ. So you get rid of the disease. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. So you see, our masters have chosen these words for that fits to every type, every people having different temperament. You want to worship God, so take the word Govinda as a God. You are an intellectual, you understand it. Take this knowledge, intellect, knowledge, and understanding rules over the mind. Otherwise, intellectual fantasy, emotional dependence, assumption, and we are done. I believe you all are getting it. Bhaj Govindam. That is the text. But the first name of this book was Hammer the Delusion, Moha Mudgar. But later on, because every stanza ends with the Bhaj Govindam, so they said it is better to say this text is Bhaj Govindam. The first stanza has yet to come. We have to understand. Because I'm laying a foundation so that you may become clear, otherwise your mind should not react at all. I believe it will not, but somehow if it reacts, then what I can do? So that's why I'm laying a foundation of this. Whenever you have a sense of anxiety, duality, and a conflict, is my intellect ready to ask, is this real? That is the meaning of Govinda. Means that Govinda is with me. That is the meaning. Is Govinda is with me. Or whether you say Govinda is a demigod, or you say the Govinda, oh, is the knowledge is with me, is awareness is with me. Am I aware what I'm doing? So when we chant, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. So internally, that mind lives into that awareness, guided by the knowledge, guided by the intellect, not the other way. The mind is not dictating over the intellect. If it is dictating over the intellect, we will have to suffer. It's 100% clear that we have to suffer. Why? The mind is impulsive. It is habitual. It follows the assumptions. It does not allow the intellect to see the cause and effect. Maybe a couple of you are talking to one another and looking at me, and I see, oh, they might be criticizing me. And then you all approach to me and you say, here is a gift for you. What happens to my assumption? What happens? I don't quantify my pain and the pleasure. I don't quantify my profit and loss. I don't quantify my victory and defeat. I gave an example, 5 grams of happiness. If I have $5,000 and 5 kilograms of happiness, if I have $5 million. Does it make a sense? But I make a sense because the mind lives in delusion. So we have to hammer this delusion. Very important, there is a very thin gap between the state of a delusion and the state of awareness. Very thin, you can say I cannot measure it. You are aware the delusion is gone. You continue to live in delusion, that is a lack of awareness. So somehow you remember Bhaj Govindam and you return back. That is why this singing is there. Hammer the delusion. Obviously, we have in the beginning, we have to investigate, we have to analyze, we have to go for the cause and effect relationship. Anytime when you are in anxiety, duality, conflict. My master, I have already shown you the picture, 6 feet 5 inches, overweight, and when he used to give a talk for 5 hours, he never used to move from his position. 5 hours with that heavy weight. Body used to become totally stiff, not affected by it. It is possible. Because of the delusion, ego is not identifying with the body. I have to explore, I have to understand this. Keep exploring. Don't accept your anxiety, duality, conflict, and delusion, or any issue that is negative in your life. Don't accept before you investigate. Oh, it's a long journey. You have told a lot of principles. No, only one principle, Bhaj Govindam. Only one principle, Bhaj Govindam. Out of emotion, oh, Bhaj Govindam. I'm adoring, even you can say I'm worshipping the real self. That is seated in me. That is another meaning. Don't believe in any God. No need. I told you, to recall, to remember, to relive in that real self. You had a particular thought, you went into anxiety. What happened just before a minute? That thought erupted in your mind. You were already calm. Do you see that? You are calm and relaxed, and suddenly I meet you and I say something to you, and your mind is deluded, and the mind has an emotional dependence and it reacted. Your peace is gone. Can you say Bhaj Govindam at that moment? Can you say that? And you see the life changes. When you say I'm fully busy, you are responsible for the delusion. You're fully busy. Can you stretch 24 hours to 48 hours? Why you are fully busy? We carry the burden, unnecessary burden. No, you don't know. I'm so busy. Become Bill Gates if you are fully busy. Are you getting it? We have created a pattern, a new normal in the modern lifestyle. And those phrases causes a lot of delusion that we don't notice. I have one student, is very intelligent. He made millions. As he said to me, I believe everything, whatever he said. Couple of months he divorced. His daughter was learning from me. Couple of years. So one day, perhaps, he called me. So we had a session and he told me that I started thinking that why I divorced with the women I lived for more than 25 years. And I want to explore that. I said, you are a seeker. Because if you start thinking in that way, it gives you a point of understanding. Normally, what happens in these relationship challenges that you simply say the other is wrong. But if I'm intelligent, one thing, pay attention to it. I'm intelligent because I earned a lot of millions of dollars, but I'm not intelligent to live in peace, for which you have to come to Eastern wisdom. Are you clear? He said, I'm clear. And I tell you, he paid the money. And every week, he has one or the other excuse. It is because of your ego. Because my intelligence hooks me. No, I'm so intelligent. Every day these things happens. And every time, no, today, I have to attend the meeting in the school of my kids. I'm sorry, I cannot attend. Don't you remember that you have an agenda set for today? Well, can you not fix the time at the next date? You don't answer me. So I don't go for American marketing. I don't push anyone. You come, it's good. You don't come, that's also good. Because if I push anyone, I am first enter into the delusion before I push anyone. It's a challenging, I know, but it's okay. It's a part of the life. Close your eyes and let us start our journey. Eyes are closed and you all are seekers, you are comfortable and you are carefree. Can you remind the mind through your intellect what it means by being comfortable? I want you to be the master first of yourself. And when you are master to yourself, you are master. You are done. My master always said that I make masters, I don't make students. I always remember that. Being comfortable. So that state of being comfort is nothing but the state of awareness where the intellect takes over the mind. Same thing with being carefree. Unwanted thoughts are entering into your mind, and you say, continue. You say to the mind, continue, my friend. You may have millions of unwanted thoughts and feeling. I am not carrying it. You are separate from me. You see, you are treating the mind in a very gentle manner. And there comes Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. I believe you can recall, you can relive in the knowledge. What is that knowledge? Happiness is my essential nature. It is the essential nature of every object, everything in the world outside, and also mine. Then why I am suffering? You are losing the grip of that emotional dependence and the delusion. I can bet you, even if you think it helps you. But if you keep on doing it, you are regular and continue the journey, it helps. Sarvesham, Sarvesham, Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. This is also in a singing tone. So you trigger your emotion. Oh, may there be peace for all, for including me. Why? It is my essential nature. It is my intrinsic nature. What it means? What is the essential nature of a sugar? You cannot separate the sweetness of a sugar. I cannot separate the peace from myself, my being, my becoming. Yes, you can separate it. So my becoming is ruled by the mind, causes the delusion, and you are done. You see, I am giving another meaning to these mantras. Sarvesham, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness in all, wholeness in all, holiness in all. Lot of words. That sense of completeness, if the mind recognizes, located beyond the mind, that is mindfulness, transcending the mind. So what is beyond the mind? It is the real self. It is the pure consciousness. Consciousness cannot be divided. So hence a sense of completeness is there. So I recognize the mental consciousness which has an element of delusion. I believe you're getting it. Or if not, you can listen, you can understand. Repeat listening, I told you. Sarvesham, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham. May there be an auspiciousness for all. I have to extract auspiciousness in every moment, in every condition, in every relationship. I want to fight with you. Yes, let me fight with you. But first, let me extract the moment of auspiciousness. So I don't have an element of likes and dislikes and hatred. So what will happen? I'll fight you with knowledge, with an understanding. What does it mean? I cannot fight with you. I have created an auspicious moment in my life. So the master says in a different way, let there be an auspiciousness in our life, as if we are going to create it. No, we have to explore it in a particular situation, in a particular moment. And now we will go to the breathing as we have been doing. Plus, we have added one more part, that is the flow of the nostrils, as you know. So you already know, looking inside the forehead in the space, you start Om Shanti at an end with a poise and start breathing quick and short breath from the chest. And continue. Your mind says one day that I can do longer, and share that experience with me. And if you all share your experiences that you can do longer than the 4 minutes, we can go for it. So you are enjoying that breathing with Om Shanti in the state of being comfortable and carefree. Just continue. And remember, my friends, that on a given day, sometimes the mind is not ready. The mind has lot of impressions of the delusion. They will come on the surface. So don't get upset. What is the key there? Endure it. And push the mind, no, I will do it. This is going to take me to the peace. Mind, I know you are not ready. You say to it and then keep on. Continue. Normally, that doesn't happen to a non-seeker, but we all are seekers now. It is possible. Someday it will definitely happen. Keep on, continue, quick and short breath. Continue Om Shanti. Keep on the pause with Om Shanti. Keep on with being comfortable and being carefree. One common factor, you are aware that you are a seeker and it is done. Continue. And stop it. Directly move there where the flow of the breath. Just pick up and check if the flow of the breath from one nostril is less. Pay attention there with simultaneous. Now I'm using the word simultaneous awareness of resistance, reaction. Simply accept. Be very clear that first two breathing steps we are doing it for 4 minutes, and the third we are still doing for 3 minutes. But at present, your attention, and normally we get a focus. So you are paying attention to the less flow of the nostril. And if you have equal flow, you will experience such a beautiful state. So this step has been taken from the Tantra. Awareness of the breath, you can say, taken from the Buddha. You see, I don't mess up, but I mix up these steps for a particular group to hasten the process of evolution. And now, looking inside the forehead, Om Shanti, and start belly breathing, expansion and contraction. It's a longer breath with an expansion and contraction. Om Shanti continues, being comfortable and carefree continues. Can I hold on to that? It is a matter of awareness, nothing less, nothing more than that. And if that happens to you, you are enjoying breathing. At the same time, you remember you are doing the Om Shanti. The body doesn't move except the belly, and you have an expansion of awareness. You're aware of the world outside you, of your room, every article. What that it means? It enhances your awareness. That is known as the enhancement of awareness. Normally, we use the word enhancing awareness for false reasons. Continue. Continue. You already know we are doing it for 4 minutes. And before that, the mind has some resistance because of the delusion. You remind yourself, oh, it is because of the delusion. Everything is okay. Let me continue and see what happens. Our journey together is not based on preaching, it is based on rationality, clarity, practicality, pragmatism. That is the way of the Eastern wisdom is. But it takes time. You have to continue the journey. Continue long breath and the hissing breath only into the belly. Even though the rib cage moves a little, it's okay. But your intention is clear. And now stop it. Pay attention to the flow of the breath on each nostril. Alternatively, pay attention to the right and the left for a few seconds to discover if the flow of the breath is less on one nostril. Just pay attention there. Simultaneous awareness of the acceptance and no resistance or the changes that you are experiencing. And if the flow of the nostril is equal, or you will feel a kind of self-absorption. So you are already getting a state of the self-absorption in this step before we move to the next step. Do you see how I designed these practices? But yes, it takes time. I have to open up slowly. Unless you have been enduring 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and now 4 minutes. See that? Knowledge is realized in stages, my friends. It's not a. And now is the time to look inside the forehead. Shanti continues. Recheck. Body is comfortable. You are carefree. And now start breathing long, deep in the hissing, both from the belly and the rib cage. Expansion of the belly and the rib while inhaling and a contraction of the belly and the rib cage during exhaling. Long, deep breath. We are doing this breath. We have been doing it for 3 minutes because I can see that we find some challenges of this third type of breathing. Why? Just try to find out. I'll surely answer. And stop it. Return to the awareness of the flow of the nostril. Check it. Any flow which has a less flow of the air, I believe you understand what I'm saying. If it is any nostril has a less flow, pay attention there, continue. Or if you have a both flow are equal, so just keep your awareness there on the both the flow. I've already gave you an indication that I should not have given, that you will start feeling a tremendous sensation around the spine. The moment the breath goes in, and it's simply you feel as if it is going into the spine, reaching to the tailbone during the breath comes up. But you are not changing the rate and the rhythm of the breath. Or some other visions and the experiences. That also takes place. And now look inside the cave of your heart, the triangle. Three-pointed awareness, move the mind on each side of a triangle. Om Shanti, clockwise and anti-clockwise. Once you find you're able to sync Om Shanti with the movement of the mind on a triangle, that is the right moment. You push the mind with singing Om mentally inside the triangle, going into the cave of your heart. Mind seemingly stops in Shanti. After that, you drop saying Om Shanti. Absorb. It's a kind of a self-absorption. The mind breaks that self-absorption. Return again on the triangle. Sink it. Do it again. So now you see that now you are the master of your own meditation practice. I'm just a pointer, a catalyst. You're already discovering that if the mind consciously withdraws inside, it creates a sense of motionless state of the body. It has nothing to do with the body as such. What is the delusion part of it? My body is stiff, I cannot sit for long. That is a very subtler level of a delusion. I can give you all those moments of that delusion. One part I just gave you. You know what you need to do mentally, and if it is supported by emotion, it's a great deal. Anytime the mind fluctuates, you simply move to the triangle sync, then go inside self absorption. Goal is clear. And now the Japa Om Shanti on 16 segments, a reminder. It is the mind's eye, mind's tongue, mind's ear, mind's touch. For our four senses, four organs, sense organs are working through the mind by dropping Om Shanti. No worries. You may say Om, your mind may say Om very long to feel the touch, to hear, but you're not touching. Fact is that you're not touching. So sometimes people stay for a longer time saying Om Shanti. Even that is okay. Sometimes you just a trigger Om Shanti. All are okay. Everyone's mind is different. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both your palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms, know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. If you have any question, definitely you're most welcome. How are you, David and Jerry?
Very good. Thank you. As always, I enjoyed the preamble or lecture, whatever we want to call it, the talk, and lots of takeaways. I'll look forward to re-listening to it on my way to the office here shortly. But the meditation was interesting. The breathing, you were talking about being 4, 4, and 3 minutes long, respectively. And I mean, after the first one, I thought it was 30 seconds long, and then the second one, less than that. And I don't even know, what did we start with? I can't remember what we started with. What was the length of that breathing, a year or two ago? Was it 1 minute or 2 minutes? I can't even remember, but whatever it was, it seemed faster than that. It was really weird. But a lot of indigo color going on. So very peaceful.
So you relate that you just said it was 30 seconds and you did for 4 minutes. So obviously you have transcended the mind, and that is why you have the indigo color. That is how we have to understand in the mind. And the third one was the 3 minutes. So we have started doing 4, 4, and 3 minutes. And when we lose the track of the time, obviously the mind is not carrying any delusion. You see, it's very clear. There is only a right perception. Beautiful. Beautiful sharing. Thank you. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good. Thank you. Similar, no resistance to the breathing. It was easy. And also the mind was very quiet and no distractions. I like the looking at how we played a part in things that don't work, not for like punishing ourselves, but for learning and evolving. Because if we don't, we continue to make the same.
Any thought, what she is saying, any thought enters into the mind, first Bhaj Govindam, means I recall, I remember. So I see that thought, I analyze that thought, I become aware of the knowledge in that thought with reference to the Bhaj Govindam. What happens? If there is a delusion, it goes away. Beautiful. How are you, Brandy?
Morning. I'm good. My meditation was really relaxing and peaceful, absorbed today.
Very good. Very good. So maintain your awareness on any deluded thoughts and treat it the same way. How are you, Dennis?
I'm fine, thank you. And my takeaway from today's talk was that this phrase, Bhaj Govindam, is like a keyword that we must use to recall. It's a key to recalling the Eastern wisdom in the situations that we normally get carried away by our likes, dislikes, and things that habitual things that we usually do. And so all we need is to remember this 2 words, and from there we can start exploring what exactly we are feeling and how to relate Eastern wisdom to it, and how to think, speak, and act accordingly, rightly, in a right manner. Regarding the practice, it was very calm and deep. I can't recall any peculiarities or differences. It was just seamless. Yeah, the one thing that about the breathing is that it seemed like it seemed like it's a normal breathing to me. So when I started fast breathing, either of three steps, it felt like I can go on for as long as needed. Like I entered a mode of just a different mode of breathing that can keep going indefinitely, and it will cause no reaction, no objection. I can just live indefinitely in this mode of breathing.
No worries. We are going to do 6 minutes each breath. Not next week. And you have the similar experiences like the David. What is the most important thing? You wake up in the world, a thought creates a like and dislikes. Now, because of the likes and dislikes, there will be a chain of the thoughts. That is how our mind is trained. And it will gather the emotional dependence, and then intellectual fantasy comes. So, what is the break that you give? You give the break. That is what Dennis is saying. You remember, recall, relive. You relive. So, you have broken the entire process. And what it takes to break the entire process? You have to answer yourself. How are you, Barbara?
I'm very good, thank you. I had a similar experience to David and Dennis. The breathing today seemed effortless, and it just went so quickly. I mean, I just didn't think it was over when it was over, and the rest of the meditation was just pure peace. So it was really wonderful.
Beautiful, beautiful. We are heading towards the next stage or advancing these practices. I love it. And how are you, Christina?
Thank you. Today felt a very deep sense of peace, and like David, a lot of indigo color around me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Only today you felt so much of peace for the first time? No, I'm just kidding. But this expression also helps us. That is what I wanted to convey. This expression also helps us because now the mind will be more interested in learning more and going deeper. Our masters have dwelled so deeply into this journey. How much I know, only 1% of it. And that is what I'm conveying to you. How are you, Vaibhav?
Thank you, sir. Sir, practice was calm, smooth, very peaceful.
Very peaceful. Beautiful. That is beautiful. How are you, Shok? We don't hear you. That's a trick, our internet, the computer does, yeah.
Om Shanti, sir. I have no question, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. So, how are you, Sangeeta? Where is Sangeeta? Yes, here it is.
सर बहुत बहुत पीसफुल था सर जो एग्जम्पशन है तो वो कई बार काम करते हैं लाइक तो उसको कंट्रोल करना है
क्या बोले
अज्यूम कर लेते हैं कि सामने वाला गलत है कई बार हो जाता है
Yes, what Sangeeta is saying that we always 99% we work through assumption. Your friend knocks the door and you enter, you hug it, and now Oh, my friend has already talked yesterday about some issue. That is why I should make my mind crazy. Why? Why not keep the mind free? Let one say, and then we will face the situation. Then we will say what needs to be said. And we don't do that. So whenever I meet you virtually on Monday, Thursday, and Saturday, oh, another boring talk. No, you should be aware. You should be. You should maintain that. You see that? That causes, so there are many layers of assumptions supported by the false side, and that causes the problem. Then we are not able to live in freedom. One master says, pay attention this before we meet the next time. Master says, you have to choose one, freedom for the mind. Are you looking for freedom for the mind, freedom from the mind? Instead of Bhaj Govindam, you can say, what I'm looking for. Freedom from the mind, freedom for the mind. There are many likes and dislikes. So I'm looking for freedom for the mind means I will strengthen my likes and dislikes. Are you getting it? But if I'm seeking freedom from the mind, I'm seeking freedom from the likes and dislikes. Are you getting it? American phrase, does it make a sense to you? No, it should not make a nonsense to you. It should make a sense to you. That is all for today. Thank you very much.
Namaste, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know from where this word has come. Does it make a sense to you? Anyhow, that's okay.